All right, we're here, KRUI, with She's Green outside of Raccoon Motel in Davenport, Iowa. They're about to play here. I'm John Glab. Want to introduce yourself?
I'm Evan Raefield. You all want to go around and introduce yourself and what you do for the band?
Sure. Yeah. I hope I didn't hit anything.
Oh, no, you just hold it up.
I'm Teddy. I play bass.
I'm Zofia and I sing.
I'm Liam. I play guitar.
I'm Rains. I also play the guitar.
I'm Kevin, and I play the drums.
That's right.
You go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, first thing, how did She's Green, as we see it today, this 5-piece masterpiece, how did it come together in its current state? Because you played your first show in 2022, is that correct?
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well,
Liam.
it kind of started with me and Zoe just making stuff in the bedroom. We were just we would hit beats and stuff that I
Yeah.
made and stuff like that, and then we had some shoegaze type beats that we wanted to get going. So
Yeah.
I think it's over there. It's right over here.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, Liam was making music in his room on his computer, and I was also making music in my room on my computer, and we were just like, why don't we collaborate? And he had a couple songs already fully, just cool instrumentals already done, which was Bleed and River, and I was like, these are really fucking good. And he was like, I don't know what they need, but I was like, well, I can. I was like, well, I can sing, so.
Yeah.
And then and
really good at singing.
then I wrote to it, and then we were like, okay, we have something here. So then we looked for, and then you and Graydon.
Yeah, I kind of brought him to some of my friends, and Kevin was our drummer. We kind of just jammed with him in the basement, and then Teddy came along playing bass, and it kind of just all fell together, and we we're looking to play a show. We were practicing a lot, and then we just found this venue, this DIY venue. It was called the Rose Club at the time. Probably doesn't exist anymore.
It does
but
not. It was short-lived.
It was a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, and then we picked up Ryan's.
Yeah, I wasn't here from the get-go, but I'm the really lucky guy that got to come in later, and it's awesome. And I kind of had my secret tryouts for a little while, and hopefully I passed the test. But joined in 2023. Yeah, it's jury's still out. But these guys are super talented musicians and really easy to work with. And Zoph's an insane singer, so it's a pretty good life. I'm pretty stoked about it.
But to switch it up a little bit, how did you all end up heading, because you were all doing your independent music sounds, kind of all in different fields, whether it be, cloud rap or, School of Hard Knocks, but you all came together. How did shoegaze end up being the direction that you went in?
It just kind of felt like we were all really into it at the time, and the stuff that Liam sent me, it was kind of more in that sort of direction, and I'm a big fan of that sound, so I was like, dude, I'd love to jam on this sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest, my biggest influence was Beach House at the time, and I wasn't super deep into shoegaze, but Liam and Graydon, the first guitarist we had, they were both just in the whole of shoegaze. I'm obsessed with this, making super long playlists, and they would send them to me, and we just were all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence that we are also smoking a lot of pot.
I don't know.
This is legal in Minnesota.
Yeah. It wasn't fun, though. God.
Yeah, went to school, got really into shoegaze.
Statute of limitations.
edit that one out.
Yeah.
Well, we went to school, got really into shoegaze.
Yeah.
I feel that's kind of the teenage boy classic. You know what I mean? you just like hit the shoegaze era. I don't know. You said the sad Midwest
Sounds like a
teenage
burger.
boy. Come on. I mean, you're just gonna find MBV one day and be like, oh, my life has changed. You know what I mean? But I feel like one thing that's interesting is like Kevin and Teddy and like all of us have like different like when it comes to like writing music, we're not just like, you know, like, man, let's copy all these shoegaze bands. So like this dude comes in here and he's like listening to music I've never even heard before, and this guy's got wild tastes, and this dude loves folk, you know. And I'm like, it's definitely like, it kind of, because it could, going back to your question, like it kind of is a little bit just like random that it happened to go down that route. It wasn't, I don't think any of y'all were like, let's be a shoegaze band. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's a cool way to like make your music sound, I guess. But also it's really about Zof and songwriting at the end of the day anyways. So, and we don't have a lot of music out, but there's some like acoustic cuts too. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like non-fuzzy songs too, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of just something that we were experimenting with at the time. And yeah.
I feel like a lot of it as well. A lot of it comes from the fact that like I know at least I'm not alone in this, but like I'm a huge nerd about like pedals and music gear. So the more weird gear we get to use, at least in my book, the better.
Yeah.
And I mean, the kind of shoegazy thing is a great sort of conduit for that.
Absolutely.
Accidental shoegaze. That's a good point.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask about one thing specifically, like with the lyrics. It seems like on the new EP, a lot of the songs mention like this feeling of floating and drifting, and I guess kind of what is that supposed to play into, either the music or just like your guys' daily lives in general?
Oh, wow.
We do a bit of levitating.
I think to me it means a lot just in the sense that like I was going through a really hard time like a couple years ago and like dissociating a lot, but also like kind of leaning into that numbness that I was feeling on a like day to day, and then just like getting really close to nature. Like I would like go by a river to feel better, and like then I don't know. I started to slowly feel like more myself.
That kind of ties into like listening to the music too, with how wistful and ethereal it is. It kind of connects to like these natural scenes, and of course on the EP cover itself you have like this person floating in this pristine like green pool. How does nature apply to like your guys' music?
That's a question for Liam.
Yeah.
You sure putting me on the spot. No, yeah, I grew up like right next to a river. I spent a lot of time outside, and I think like She's Green, like the name even kind of just alludes to like Mother Earth and like just gonna pass this one over. No, yeah, we try to like emulate a lot of like textures of just from like feelings that we get from the time we spend like outside and the times we spend with like these like almost personified natural places that surround us and stuff. So
it definitely is something that like helped me bond with these guys too. Is like I'm really into ecology, and like I don't know, a band that that loves nature is not like the most common thing. I don't know, not that we're like a nature band, whatever, but like it's like I think it's a really like inspiring thing for me too. So it's cool to like, I don't know, we're not writing songs about like biology or, you know, invasive species or something, but not yet. But I mean, like, I think that's something that really resonated with me, like, when I wasn't playing in the band, was like, I don't know. It's a thing that, like, is really cool to tap into, I think. And it inspires all of us, for sure. So,
Check my phone.
Do you like the Song for Plants type of thing?
Oh, Mort Garson? Yeah. Big Mort Garson fan.
So do you guys like hike around a lot together? Is it like a inspiration type thing or just like a chill type of thing?
Yeah.
if we can.
Yeah.
We recently went on.
Here.
Is it paused?
It's going.
Okay. Yeah, we recently went to a cabin together and wrote some songs that are kind of folky, and we went on a hike. But also, Liam and I go on hikes a lot. We go to River Falls because that's where he grew up and his parents are. So it's super nice, like little getaway, about an hour away or even a little less. So we like to just plop by a river, walk around.
Yeah, putting RF on the map right now.
This dude told me one time that he has a spiritual experience every time he goes to the Kinnick River. So
Yeah,
that's
we like
definitely
I
come
do.
through in some
Kayak.
songs.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much there's so many like metaphors you can draw from moving water and stuff, and like I could just watch like the sunlight flicker on moving water for hours and hours. But yeah, that's
Kind of somewhat adjacent to it too, and I saw like scrolling through your Instagram, there's a lot of images that kind of seem like this, but what are your feelings on cottagecore and those kind of vibes?
I mean, I've tried to like remove myself from TikTok and a lot of that stuff, but I mean, it's a cool aesthetic, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of a backwoods-ish kind of person as well. Like a bunch of my family lives like way up in the sticks, and so like I draw a lot of like warm nostalgic feelings from like just being like way out in kind of like a more simple natural setting. So I don't know if we're a cottagecore band or not, but I like that kind of emphasis on just like simplicity and nature. So
I feel like any band that comes out of the Midwest like kind of has to have like a pastoral
Yes.
undertone or like a some kind of like prairie vibe to it.
It's true.
But yeah, I grew up like reading Lord of the Rings and stuff, and like I definitely associate with goblins and like ghouls and shit.
Skipper, wizard.
Yeah, I was a warlock for a little bit, but we don't talk about that. But
Cottagecore is adjacent, but like this dude, like knows how to make mystical things. I don't know. Like the Lord of the Rings reference is important because like this dude, he knows his like, I don't know, like wizardry lore. Like he's dressed up as a wizard for shows. So
Yeah.
that definitely is a theme.
we're all at like an intersection between like theology and nature and and spiritualized.
What's the thing called where you like make the potions in a goblet or whatever? What's that called?
Alchemy?
Alchemy. I think that shit's dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that also, I'm making this connection now, but I feel like that also kind of plays a role in why our music tends to be cinematic. I feel like people have said that to us a lot, really like, I almost see an image
that
while
is
I'm,
something we
while
try to
I'm
do.
listening to this, and yeah, that kind of leads into that aesthetic.
Yeah, landscapes and such.
Yeah.
Is it more about like trying to capture images rather than like going into an aesthetic?
I think so.
I'd say, yeah.
I think evoke like experiences. Like I think like with our music, we're just trying to evoke the experiences that we have with nature. So, and that like to us is like very visual, but also very like, I guess just like all encompassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aesthetic is a funny word because it's like very social media-y, you know? Yeah. And this dude really knows how to like, he's a really good videographer and stuff, and so he like knows how to make really cool images and visual art, but like aesthetic has this connotation of like a brand or whatever, which I feel like we don't do at all.
Yeah.
We have no like, we gotta follow this aesthetic. I don't
Yeah.
know. Doesn't happen, but yeah.
In the process of your sonic alchemy, I do want to note that, you know, even in the music that you have put out, I was all over your Bandcamp page these past couple of weeks, but, you know, the little stuff that you have out, there's definitely a sense of artistic progression there. Like you have the more stripped down cuts like Mandy, the demo, and then you also have your more, you know, heavy on effects cuts like Bleed. And it's really interesting to see how that's developed over time, like you're saying, and it's interesting to see how that style continues to develop. And speaking of influences on that style, how that happens, you're currently based out of Minneapolis in the Twin Cities area. How would you say that has sort of influenced your sound in the current day?
I can talk about the Minneapolis scene for hours and hours and hours, but I'll keep it short by saying like there's so many unbelievably talented musicians and producers and songwriters that like, and it's a really like kind of tight-knit community of artists as well, and like it's really welcoming as well. So we got to work with this guy Henry on the EP. We love his production style. And yeah, he mixed it. He was great to work with, and he's got a really cool band called Why Not as well. Shout out Why Not.
Shout out.
But yeah, like there's endless amounts of like human aspects to draw inspiration from, and music and legacy as well. I mean, there's countless amazing acts from like way back in the day too, and other things to draw inspiration from too, like nature. Yeah, going back, call back.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Is there a real sense of community, like a lot of collaborating between artists, like real community spots? Like I know you're talking about a DIY spot that your first show was at.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of those? Are there certain
Yes.
artists that you collaborate with or serve as inspiration to you in the scene?
Yeah, I mean, we got like, there's tons of bands that like we always love playing shows with. I'm not picking favorites here by any means, but like there's this band we love called 12th House Sun. There's this a friend of ours actually, Lana Leone. She rules.
Also, my friend Callie is in Dad Bod. There's like 2 bands called Dad Bod.
There's a lot of bands, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But the Minneapolis one.
but the Minneapolis Dad Bod.
But yeah, there's a really, really rich DIY community, and there's a ton of venues, and like that's one of the reasons why I went to college in Minneapolis, because I was thinking about maybe moving states, but I got introduced to like the DIY scene, and I really fell in love with just like the attitude and just the sheer variety as well. So I was like, this is a crazy community that I want to be a part of.
Yeah, lots of basement shows.
Yeah, great old
And I
basement
think,
shows.
like, we were all going to those.
Yeah, I didn't
So
know them at that point, but they were at a lot
like,
of the same
all
ones.
separately going to these same basement shows for years, and like we didn't really know each other, but we recognized each other. So that's kind of cool.
So that sense of community kind of in a part at least drew you together as a band in a way.
Yeah.
Totally.
Inadvertently or advertently, I guess. Yeah, we might gotta go. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
All good.
Should we wrap this up, or is there like a closing thing we should do?
I mean, we have another question or
Yeah, maybe.
I think we gotta start at 7:30 and
Maybe like a
7:26.
maybe like a closing.
Real quick, just tell us how Wisteria kind of came together as an EP rather than just collection of singles.
Yeah, go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
That's a little tough. We like just made them. I don't know. We brought it to the band and we made them, and they all kind of just sounded similar. And
it's just like a grouping of songs that like we had on the computer for a while, like, and we were just like cracking at like playing live at shows, and then we kind of just wanted to bring them to somebody that knew how to actually mix and master and like audio engineer some stuff, and it was just a super fun experience. Like learned a lot about like kind of like where we want to take the sound, and like how we can kind of just improve on these things that we've had for a while, like these songs that we've had. And yeah, I don't know,
yeah, they were really just honestly
just
like
because we wanted
they
to
came
do it.
together so quickly, and then we just recorded and had them out. It was really.
The only thing I'll add is that like these songs we didn't write them with the intention of like making them part of one project, but they all kind of arose like in quick succession, and they all felt like kindred spirits. So just kind of made sense that like these should be together, and let's put out an EP.
Kind of just like a vignette of where you were at that point in time.
Essentially, yeah.
I hope we get another snapshot soon.
There's stuff in the works.
Working on stuff.
There's a lot of
There's a
irons in the
lot.
fire. I genuinely can't tell you when to expect anything, but we're hoping to release a good amount of music this year.
Is there a lot coming up in the future for you guys?
We've been working. We hope so, yeah.
Is there anything you can like give us a glimpse into specifically?
I mean, the single, maybe?
Well,
Probably gonna drop
Probably
a
gonna
single.
release a
I don't know which
single.
one it's gonna be, but
Maybe spring or summer.
there will be a new song
Yeah.
in the next few months, and then maybe some more afterwards.
Album
group
on the
of
way, as long as that takes.
Yeah, we are eventually going to put out an album, but we don't know if that's going to take like a few months or like a year and a half, because we want it to like click and make it feel right. So we might take our time with some music, but there's a lot of stuff we're working on that we're excited
it's important to us. So.
to get out.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, thank you.
KRUI.
I hope we didn't. I hope this was. I hope this wasn't unintelligible.
Not at all.
It was recording for most of it. I feel like it's chill.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you as well.
Check out She's Green.
Check out She's Green.
Shout out.
Shout out.